This weekend, Catalina Enriquez, a biological male, was crowned Miss Nevada USA. Enriquez called the win, quote, a celebration of womanhood. But we beg to differ. The Daily Wire's Michael Knowles, host of the Michael Knowles Show and also the author of the new book, Speechless, Controlling Words, Controlling Minds, joins me now to weigh in. Michael, always great to see you. Thanks for being here.
Great to be with you.
I started off the show, Michael, talking about how the culture war has to be fought alongside some of the other policy battles that we're seeing in Washington. So here we go. We have biological men set to compete in this year's Tokyo Olympics, trying to participate in girls' sports, winning a women's beauty pageant. I mean, this guy beat 21 actual women and is now going to compete in Miss USA. Are we seeing the end of women's sports and other competitions?
We are certainly seeing the end of women's sports. As for this man who is pretending to be a woman who now won the tournament, I always like to see the silver lining in storm clouds. I like to look at the glass half full. And the one thing I can say is that this man is definitely selling a lot of copies of my book. Because if a man can win Miss Nevada, then words really don't mean anything anymore. And this is the primary instrument by which the left inverts our culture. They attempt to redefine reality itself by redefining all of the terms. And of course, you cannot redefine reality because words refer to real things. But the left will insist upon this. They will contrive this fantasy world. They've been doing it for a very long time. And if you don't go along with it, you can face punishment. I am certain that people will clip out this segment. They'll call me some sort of bigot for referring to a man as a man rather than a woman. And for people who are in a workplace or at a university, I mean, they would face real punishments if they were to plainly state the truth before them, because the left insists that you go along with their fantasy rather than believing your own lying eyes.
You know, I have a niece who is sort of grew up in the pageant circuit. I mean, these are girls who they spend 10 years working their way up into these pageants. How is it possibly fair? How could a feminist possibly say that this is a good thing for women?
Well, in the case of the sports, the men are always going to beat the women because men are stronger and faster than women, and that's a biological fact. And actually, that's the reason that women have their own sports leagues, is because of that fact. As for the beauty pageants, the men are not more beautiful than women. I think highly enough of myself, but I don't think I'm going to be winning any beauty pageants anytime soon. And so I think the reason that people are awarding men who are pretending to be women these sorts of awards is to try to change the culture, to just pretend, and we're all supposed to go along with it. But I don't think anybody really believes it deep down, no matter how hard the culture is trying to push it.
Yeah, yesterday the Supreme Court let an Obama-era ruling stand, allowing trans students to use opposite-sex bathrooms. A biological female, Gavin Grimm, won a lawsuit against her county school board for preventing her from using the men's bathroom. The Supreme Court decided not to take up the school board's appeal. Your take on this case?
Well, God bless Justices Thomas and Alito for recognizing that the Constitution does not grant the right to men to enter the women's bathroom. I'm sorry to see that Amy Barrett and Brett Kavanaugh and John Roberts, who was a lost cause long ago, just refused to stand up for this very basic issue. I must have missed the transgender provision of the Constitution. I guess it's beneath the emanations and above the penumbras that guarantee the fictional right to abortion as well. If this is what originalism is, if originalism means letting men into the ladies' room, I guess I'm no longer an originalist. But of course, if this is what originalism is, then words no longer have any meaning.
So, speaking of words, your new book, Speechless, Controlling Words, Controlling Minds, just debuted last week. Congratulations. It's fantastic. Talk to us about your principal message for America coming out of this book.
The key insight that I discovered, actually, while I was researching the book, is that the left understands free speech and censorship much better than the right does, and we should take them seriously and not only make fun of them. The leftist theorists who came up with this thing were very, very clever, and they led us into a trap whereby the squishes go along with the new politically correct standards. That obviously helps the left. And even the stalwart conservatives who say they won't go along with them, they usually end up abandoning standards entirely, sometimes in the name of free speech absolutism or something like that. But both of those reactions actually advance political correctness because the traditional standards are abandoned. I think this issue of wokeness, cancel culture, political correctness, I think it's really not a battle between free speech and censorship. I think it's a battle between competing sets of standards, and the left gets it, which is why they're so effective at enforcing it.
Yeah, look, first of all, conservatives are terrible at messaging their values, and they've been terrible at it for years. And of course, as you pointed out earlier, the left, if you turn everything upside down, particularly from a values perspective, it makes it easier to advance government, sort of statist policy goals. Well, best of luck with the book. Again, pick up Michael's new book, and we appreciate you always being here with us, Michael Knowles. Thanks.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.